Hello everyone, welcome to the Euro Escapade V8 Supercars race at Suzuka on this Thursday night in Europe, Friday morning Australian time. Now this is always one of the most exciting races on the V8 Supercars calendar for the week as we see drivers from all over Europe compete in this race. It's an open race, everyone's welcome to compete, and we certainly see a lot of good drivers coming into this race. We can see there's a couple of Australians in here as well, some early risers in Corey Preston and Cameron Girardi. But the race is about to get underway. We see Antoine Hugelin from France on pole position, Corey Preston from Australia in second. And it looks like Corey's got off to a flying start there. He's really got that power to the ground early and will get up in the inside of Antoine to be the first to turn one. Corey's gone a bit wide, led Antoine up the inside, and it looks as though they're going to go side by side into the S-bends. Not always easy to do, and yes, contact, not unexpected, trying to go side by side. But they continue this battle, neither of them giving an inch. Well, here they go. How they do this is top quality driving. That's great work going side by side through here, and they continue to go side by side. My goodness, this is fantastic. How will this end out? Will it end in tears or one of them take the lead? Oh, more contact. They are not giving an inch. They're going hard into Degner. Corey's out a bit wide here, but he's hanging on well. And has gone wide out again. But he's got some drive, so he's still going well now as they approach the critical hairpin. Antoine seems to have the advantage. Has just got himself in front enough. Great work by Antoine. Oh no, Corey's braked late and tagged him. That's turned Antoine around. Antoine... He's going to go back to the field there. Oh, that had to end in tears. But I think Corey probably braked a bit late there and tagged him. So it's probably a mistake by Corey, and Antoine very unlucky. He won't be happy with that. And that leaves Eric Blixt, who with an advantage has got out to the front now and has a good little early break due to that bit of trouble into the hairpin. Corey looks to be under extreme pressure from Nacho Gaspar from Spain. Kenzie Newhoff from the Netherlands. Looks like Tony Klostermans wants to be part of this action. Great start to the race by Tony. And Bob Woodhouse getting involved as well. Let's see how Cora... Oh, it looks like Gaspar's absolutely thrown it into that final chicane and made a great move, and Newhoff has followed him through. And Woodhouse following through. Preston's going backwards at a fast rate here. That was probably Gaspar. Wow. Did you see that? He absolutely threw that car into that final chicane. It's got a great result. It's now got himself in a second spot. And Kenzie Newhoff has got into third, and they've sent Corey Preston well back. Oh, I need to take a breath. My goodness, that was an exciting first lap. Lots of action. But like I said, these Euro races are very exciting to watch. But let's just take a breath and have a look at the drivers. So we see Eric Blixt. He's from Sweden. He's in front. He's actually the series leader in the Euro Escapade series at the moment. He's been driving very consistently and well this year. Gets a win now and then, but wins in this series are very hard to come by. All these drivers quite evenly matched, and it really turns out what happens from week to week. But Eric certainly has the early advantage here with that mix-up between Antoine and Corey Preston. One lap ago. So see Nacho Gaspar from Spain. I don't recall seeing Nacho too much in these races. He's got an I rating of over 8,000. He's obviously a fantastic racer. May not be as experienced in these cars as some of the others. I'm not sure. I could be stand corrected on that one. Kenzie Newhoff, he is a very experienced racer. He wins these races quite regularly. And obviously is quite a force to be reckoned with. Bob Woodhouse also wins in this series now and then. Strong racer, regular attendee of these races, and loves mixing it up with these guys week on week. And you can see Corey Preston just probably trying to calm his heart rate a bit after all that action in the first lap. I wonder how he feels about that turnaround with Antoine Hugelin at the hairpin. The view from his car might have been very different from what we saw on the outside, where he just seemed to brake that a little bit late and tag Antoine and turn him around. but the margins can be very fine, especially the way they were battling so hard with each other. It was great racing, just a bit of an unfortunate result there. Yeah, Tony Kloosterman, one of the main supporters of this series, says he's from Canada on the flag there. I wonder if he's based in Canada, or he seems to very much race in the Euro races. Maybe he's actually based in Europe but from Canada. I'm not sure. Who else do we have? Michael Hafledusson. He wins races regularly in this series as well. He's from Sweden. Seem to have a strong representation from Sweden in this field. Bit Salomon. Also see his name regularly here. Here we have Gregorio Sesma from Spain. We saw him race on Tuesday night. He was racing in the Shell livery on Tuesday night, but now he's got the Monster livery on tonight, just exploring all the wonderful liveries that go around in the real-life Australian Supercars racing. Looks like a bit of action here in the middle of the pack. Daniel Solo having a look at Sesma. Oh, lots of action in there. Raul Garcia. Sesma working hard to hold off. So here, oh no, he's put that wheel into the grass and it sent him into the fence. Wow, that was a hard hit. There's going to be some damage there. Hopefully he can keep going. No, that car is not steering. That damage on that right front. Yeah, you see that wheel's turned in. He can barely steer that thing. So he'll have to get back to the pits and get some repairs done. Yeah, that car's going wherever it likes. He's really struggling to keep it out of other drivers' ways. No, he's just got to get it around 130R. The question is, will it steer around 130R? Hope those drivers are aware what's going on here, otherwise there could be trouble. No, it's not turning, not turning. Oh no, Serebransky didn't see what was happening and got escorted off the track. That is really unlucky for Jan Serebransky there. As Sesma try and makes his way back to the pit to get those repairs. Let's go back to the action that keeps happening in this race. Not for Eric Blix though. He seems to be driving very smoothly and opening up quite a nice margin in these early stages of the race. It's like Kenzie has got designs on that second spot that Nacho currently holds. I wonder where he'll make the move. Maybe the hairpin is an opportunity. Once we get through Degner curves here. It all depends on the drive he gets out of this turn. Whether he's close enough. He's coming up to the hairpin now. No opportunity at that point. If we'll see Kenzie make a move into the final chicane. Looks as though he wants to. And he does. Moves it up there very neatly. Nacho provides plenty of room. Decided not to fight that particular battle. Probably sensible at this relatively early stage of the race. Corey Preston. It's got past Bob Woodhouse. Must have just happened just recently because Corey was back in 5th, but now up to 4th. Trying to work his way back up onto the podium after that early mix-up. Looks like Michael Hafledusson from Sweden is making ground. He's in 6th position at the moment. I would have expected him to be closer to the front, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him get closer to these guys and start looking at taking their positions. Tony Kloosterman, I'd imagine he's quite satisfied where he is at the moment. 7th out of 22, behind 6 very fast drivers. It's probably a good spot for Tony. He's driving very smoothly, as I think he always does. Very experienced racer. Oh, we can see some action here between Guardia and Salomon and Daniel Solo. They're having a lot of fun here, it looks like. There you go, Guardia makes a move on Salomon. Oh, that's trouble. That's big trouble. That's knocked Guardia back a bit after coming together with Salomon there. I wasn't quite sure what happened. They seem to get tangled coming into the spoon. They wouldn't be the first guys that have done that. Pereira from Portugal. I think we've got 2 guys from Portugal in this race. It's just so good to see people from all different countries in this race. Just really adds some great spice to it, doesn't it? Sirius Smith from Antarctica. There's a country I didn't expect to see on the starting grid. Well, hopefully he's warm in the cockpit. And Jan, saw they had that bad luck early on when Sesma had no steering going to 130R. He got caught up, set in the fence, and now in last spot. But he'll keep going. Hopefully he can get back into the field and pass a few cars. Back to the front, Eric Blixt. Going very, very nicely. I wonder if he's feeling comfortable there. 2 seconds. He knows Kenzie behind him is very, very quick, so I doubt whether he's feeling comfortable at all. He'll be actually probably right on the edge, going as absolutely hard as he can to maintain this margin. Because Kenzie has a reputation as maybe the strongest racer in this field. And he'll be hunting down Eric at the moment. You can see him easily. Nacho, after giving that position up to Kenzie, is now in a position to drive quite smoothly and maintain his podium position. But he won't have it too easy for too long with Corey coming up behind him. So we're coming into the end of lap 6 now, almost the 1/3 part of the race. The pit window is probably open now for those wanting to pit early. Looks like Corey's tyres may be gone. That was very slidey coming out of the final turn. Well, here's Antoine. Not long ago he was in 22nd place, but he's charged through the field, up to 8th already. I suggest or suspect there may be some red mist there. No one likes to be turned around from the lead on turn 1 and put to the back of the field. So I'd imagine he's not happy, but he's going. He looks to be driving with some absolute conviction, determined to get up to the front of the field. I wonder if he'd like to get up to Corey and say hello. We'll see. It'd be a big ask to come from last to get back up to Corey Preston, who's currently in 4th position. Maybe that's the force that's driving him. Hey, there we can see he's giving it absolutely everything. A very highly rated driver and seems to have great control over this car, which, as we know, is fantastic fun to drive. Tony Klosterman coming out of the spoon very neatly there. Takes a lot of practice to get the spoon right, but these drivers seem to be doing a great job at it. 130R, probably the fastest corner, one of the fastest corners on iRacing. Here we see Corey Preston going in for the early pit stop. He's the first of the pit stoppers. Maybe he's being a bit held up there by Nacho, so he's decided to get in the pits early. Who's looking to jump Nacho while during the pit stop sequence? Was that Eric drifting out of turn 1 there, I noticed? Maybe I was seeing things. Maybe the tyres are going off. Certainly Suzuka's probably pretty tough on tyres with this constant long loads left to right all the way throughout. But we see Kenzie certainly made a lot of ground on Eric at this stage. So this may get interesting soon. Kenzie's probably given himself every chance of catching Eric. Probably believes he can do it. Nacho a little bit further back in third, and a further gap to Bob, so a few gaps opening up now, but not at the front of the field. That gap is closing. That's where the interest lies. Can't afford any mistakes here into the spoon. Looks like a nice line. Hold it tight on this left-hand bit here and then drive out to the right-hand side. Yeah, nice work. I don't know why I'm talking to these guys. Their class is above me. They know what they're doing. I wonder if Kenzie will be looking to make a move into the final chicane. We've seen that bit of success, people doing that in the race so far. It's not close enough this time. So yeah, end of lap 8. It's sort of not quite the halfway mark of the race yet, being a 19-lap race. But Eric's in the pits and Kenzie follows him in. And Kenzie's charged into the pits that little bit harder than Eric. Has made up even more ground. So it all comes down to the pit stop. I wonder if Kenzie's managed to save some fuel to jump Eric in the pits. I can't imagine so. He looked to be charging very hard. He was making ground on Eric. But Eric's entered the pits first. Kenzie's charged at him on the pit entry. Now let's see who emerges first. The pit stop should be coming. They should be fully fueled by about now. And Kenzie gets it first. He has jumped Eric in the pits. He has taken on less fuel. Let's hope he's got enough fuel to get home. So Kenzie Newhoff's now the effective leader of the race from Eric Blixt, but these guys have pitted early. We can see Nacho is now the leader of the race with quite a neat margin. Over Bob Woodhouse and Michael Huffler-Darson. Looks like Michael is making ground on Bob Woodhouse. And we might end up seeing a pretty good battle between these two later on. Tony Klosterman has hung on to these guys quite well, but he's got Antoine coming up fast behind him. Antoine's still charging hard. He was 5 seconds behind Tony just a couple of laps ago, so he's probably almost lapping a second and a half, 2 seconds a lap faster than a lot of these other cars in the field. That is red mist, and the tyres seem to be hanging on. So obviously a very classy driver. Let's check in with the leader. Is he going to pit? He saw the guys in front of him pit the lap earlier. I'd expect him to come in this lap. Yep, there he does. The leader comes in. And Bob Woodhouse has followed him too. Will Michael follow them in? No, Michael Huffler-Darson hasn't, but Tony Klosterman has. So who does that leave us in the lead? That'll leave Michael Huffler-Darson in the lead. why this pit stop sequence sorts itself out. We see Antoine up from 22nd to 2nd place now, but of course he hasn't pitted yet. But it's been quite a charge. He's really driving very hard, wanting to get his way back into this race. I love seeing it when drivers get knocked out early, but don't give up. Just use that as extra resolve to race harder. Eduardo da Silva into 3rd. He'll be enjoying that. And here's Kenzie Newhoff in 4th spot. This will be our effective leader, I'd imagine, from Eric Blixt. So Halfledarson leading this race at the halfway mark. I'd expect him to come into the pits very shortly though. The tyres will be pretty worn at this point. There's really no point sticking on too long with them. There he goes, through 130R, sideways. Yep, the tyres are gone. I think we'll see him go into the pits now. That wouldn't have helped them either. In he comes. Alright, so I wonder if Antoine will follow him in. No, Antoine's going to keep going. So he'll go from 22nd and enjoy being in the lead for a little while here. But of course, still yet to pit. But he's got a lot of fresh air here, and this will, with his extreme pace that he has on the rest of the field, he'll be making ground on the rest of the field here. Even though his tyres can't be that crash hot in this late stages of this stint where everyone else has pitted and slid around. But having that extra class as a driver helps him manage worn tyres better than most. He seems to be driving very smoothly through here. So that's an 18 seconds. He'll need a lot more than that. It's probably 30 seconds to get through the pits and take on the fuel that you need. So you might be coming out in about 8th spot, around the Kloosterman mark, I'd imagine, when he comes out of the pits. Whether it's this lap or next. He's our effective race leader, Kenzie. Slowly opening up a bigger margin on Eric. Both charging hard at the head of the field. So Preston did jump Nacho in that pit sequence. So Nacho's a little bit behind him now. Whereas Preston was stuck behind him just before the pit stops. Corey pitted early, and that seemed to have worked in his battle with Nacho. He's probably happy to be in front of him. Remembers what happened to him into that final chicane 2-1 when Nacho absolutely sent it and pulled off a brilliant move. Sent Preston back a few spots. Here we go, Woodhouse and Halfledarson having some fun through the final chicane, and Halfledarson pulling off the move on Woodhouse to take that position. Very nice. That final chicane seems to be an effective spot, but it took good driving by both drivers to get through there. Safe and sound. Up Halfledarson goes to try and get his way up to Gaspar. Sort of a bit over 4 seconds behind Gaspar at the moment. But I imagine he'll be charging hard to catch him. He'd like to be a little bit further up this field given his record. Just checking on Antoine. He has now done his pit stop and come out in 8th spot, a little bit behind Tony Kloosterman. So those tyres will now be very fresh, so he'll be going very hard. I don't think it'll take him very long to get past Tony this time around. Tony's tyres a couple of laps older. As we know with these cars, the tyre life on tyre field on lap 1 of a stint versus lap 3 or 4 is very, very different. They do tend to drop off quite quickly in those first couple of laps. Tony will see him coming. Oh. Looks like Antoine's made sure of it with the flashing lights into the hairpin. He's not quite close enough to make any move at this point. That wasn't the hairpin, that was the spoon. Apologies for that, me losing my radar there. Will he make a move into 130R? I don't think so. It's not a great spot to try and go past someone, but I think he'll have no problem getting him into the final chicane. Tony moves across, leaves him plenty of room, and a nice clean pass there for Antoine over Tony Kloosterman. Both Sarah Baranski and Sesma a few laps down. Somehow they've got locked together, even though they're the two drivers that are laps down in this race due to previous mistakes where they actually did come together due to Sesma not being able to steer around 130R. Oh, you can still battle if your lap's down. Actually, battling is a lot of fun, as long as it doesn't end in tears. It's Cameron Girardi. Haven't paid too much attention to him in this race, but he is in 11th spot, which is a very much a better than pass mark for Cameron in this race. Driving very smoothly in this race, getting lots of practice in on the races, and as we know, seat time in these cars is the best way to practice, especially seat time in races. Every time you race, you just get better and better, and you get a better feel for the track, especially a track like Suzuka, which has got so many tricks and angles just to get right. Some of these corners take an enormous amount of practice to get right. But when you do start getting them right, wow, what a rewarding feeling. It is so much fun. Shumilov still struggling with that damage, still circulating, but couldn't possibly at top pace. It does slow down a bit, that damage on the front left. Pastor Zamin. Shoshomkov in the very Aussie livery. Sirius Smith. Get back of the field here. Let's go to the front. Kenzie not getting away from Eric anymore. Eric is hanging on for dear life. He hasn't given up on this chase yet. Looks like Nacho is making good ground on Corey here again. I wonder if he'll try and make that move into the final chicane again. That was so successful at the end of lap 1. Haflidarson certainly making ground. We can see he's only a bit over 2 seconds behind Nacho now, so I can foresee him catching them before the end of the race. Showing very good pace at the moment. He's clearing away from Bob Woodhouse, but not clearing away from Antoine Hegelin, who's he's charging towards these leaders at the moment. So 22nd up to now 7th. I'd imagine he's still got a few more places at his side. I'd imagine he'd especially love to catch his mate Corey Preston, who got to know each other very well on the turn 1 hairpin. I mean the lap 1 hairpin, not turn 1, lap 1 hairpin. How far is he behind Corey at the moment? 7 seconds with 4 laps to go. Has a lot of ground to make up, but he is flying. You see he's making enormous ground on Bob Woodhouse here. I imagine he'll be past him very shortly. Certainly Antoine's got out of that hairpin better. He probably has some momentum through here to get very close to Woodhouse. There we go, up the inside of the spoon. And the charge continues. Who's he got next? Haflidarson. Well, he's flying also. They're both making grounds on Gaspar and Preston. We'll probably slow each other down if they keep battling. Let's here we go, the final chicane move. Oh, he's on the other side there. Gaspar now looking very racy on Preston. If they keep dicing each other like that, that'll just play in the hands to Haflidarson and Nacho and Antoine. As I mentioned before, there's quite an iRating difference between these two guys. Corey at 5,000. Oh, little touch. It's getting... Things are on here. But yes, Corey around 5,000. Nacho around 8,000 we can see there. Corey super experienced and super knowledgeable about those supercars. I don't know what Nacho's experience is like, but I imagine not as much. But he's made the move into Egner there, but no, you can't go the outside at that point. But he's throwing everything at Corey at this stage. And are we going to have trouble at the hairpin? We've seen it a few times today. No, not this time. And as expected, look who's looming up behind them very quickly. This is going to quickly turn into a 3-car battle for the podium position of 3rd. And maybe the way Antoine Hegelin's flying, it may become a 4-car battle for that 3rd podium position. But at the front of the field, we can see Kenzie driving smoothly, just holding that consistent margin over Eric. It's not great, but Eric would not have given up hope yet. Quite an exciting race at the front of the field. These two have got away and probably likely to get further away with the scrapping that's going on in behind them. We've got 3 laps to go in this race. On to lap 17. So 3 laps to go. Corey doing a good job at the moment, holding these guys off. I wonder if he's aware that Antoine Usualin is coming up fast behind him. Can the French driver get up to them? Make things even more interesting. It's been quite a spicy race already, but are things about to get even spicier? Here's a place coming into the hairpin, into the final chicane where we always see some action. And we see Nacho trying to go around the outside. Haflidason makes the move. Oh, so Nacho was trying to make the move on Corey Preston, left himself exposed, and Haflidason's come through and taken fourth position. Now very much eyeing that podium position of third. But look who's looming in the background. Antoine is charging, and these guys are slowing each other down with all this dicing. Corey Preston very much defending from the other two, and Antoine very quickly getting up to their rear. Actually feeling a bit nervous of Corey at the moment. Comes. Let's check the leader. He seems to be holding this lead with some cover. Eric's has thrown it into the hairpin very nicely, but probably a bit slower out because of that. Coming to the final stages of the second last lap, we'll soon be getting the white flag. Head around the spoon on the second last lap. Haflidason has got fast Preston. Nice driving. Now Preston again under pressure of gas, but that leaves him even more exposed to Antoine again. Now that Haflidason's out of the way. Looks like he's going to charge into third spot. Gaspar really putting the pressure on Preston now. Will he do his move into the final chicane? He's going to have a look. Oh, just held the brakes there. That was close. He was on the absolute limits there. But this, maybe a bit of contact there. That'll only slow them down, so we get Antoine's right up to them. Antoine's within very much reaching distance of Corey Preston now. He's flashing his lights, letting Corey know he's coming. Wow. Just quickly check the leader before we're into the last lap now. I don't know where to look. It's getting very, very exciting. Kenzie's holding off Eric. But Eric's not giving up. But I think he might be just a little bit too far behind. Kenzie driving very nicely, as is Eric. But this is where the action is. Haflidason, he's cleared right out from the other three. But this is where the action is. Gaspar has to go wide. Around Degner there. Antoine's got right up behind them now. Wait, my goodness, that was almost big trouble. Now into the hairpin. They've lost a bit of the ground on Corey with that little coming together. But Antoine, absolutely desperate to get up to Corey Preston to let him know what he felt about that turn 1 incident. Here he goes. He's got past Gaspar. Now he's got Corey in his sights, flashing his lights. Here I come, Corey. I remember you. We'll have a quick check on the leaders here because Kenzie looks as though he's going to take the victory here. They're coming up to the final line. Here we see Antoine moving around, putting pressure on Preston. We'll watch what happens at the end here. It looks as though he's not going to quite get him. But Kenzie's won the race from Eric. Hafler's in third. Preston in fourth. And Hevland in fifth. Pulls up beside him. So, mate, I didn't enjoy what you did before. Yeah. So Gasper in fifth. Woodhouse is sixth. Klusterman in seventh. Solo in eighth. Nice race. Salomon ninth. Got out. Had some problems earlier, but still got home for 10th. Well done. Let's watch the rest of the guys come over. Trati. Oh, I've just seen Corey Preston's got a 40-second penalty. He must have cut the corner, the final chicane, and didn't clear the slowdown. So Corey's dropping right down the rankings. So an eventful race for Corey Preston. Lap 1 and final lap. So that's a 40-second penalty for Corey for failing to, probably most likely for failing to clear a slowdown on the final chicane. Alright, what a great race. Big win to Kenzie. Adds to his collection of wins. Great work by Eric Blix to finish in second. But I'll sign off there. That's a fantastic edition of the Euro Escapade race, and I look forward to seeing everyone next week.